All right, so we got some recording going on.
Oh, the mics
This
are
is
on.
recording. This is
Testicles.
recording.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, sweet.
Testicles. 1, 2, 3.
All right, Coach Greg, and I'm here with Alex Mendoza and Chessbra. We're answering your questions, and we looked through a bunch of questions. We felt like this was the most pertinent, the one everyone wanted to know. Essentially, it comes down to this. So many of the questions, anytime you ask or bring up Chessbra, is about Zyzz, or Zyzz,
Zyzz.
or Zyzz.
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 And so a lot of people are basically saying, you know, what's it like being his brother? Are you living in his shadow? And who's more successful? And so it got me thinking, how do you measure success, and how do we determine if someone is more or less successful than someone else? And so let us compare successes. Zyzz versus Chessbra. Who is more successful? And so that is the debate we're going to have today. And so let's have your answer. Let's hear it.
Where do I start? Okay, firstly,
It's a tough question.
It's a really tough question because you guys, for the real ones that have been following my journey, my brother's journey, you guys know how passionate and loving and devoted I am to Zyzz. But it's time that I'm at an age now, I'm 36 years old, I'm turning 37 in a week, and it's time that I actually speak my mind and tell you guys what I truly, truly think, what's on my mind, what really I feel is a true perception of Zyzz as a person, and defining and also explaining success and what success is, because success, as we discussed before, guys, can be quantified and measured in many different ways. It could be measured financially, it can be measured through a social media following, it could be measured through, I don't know, the car you drive, the house you live in. There's so many measures of success.
Yeah.
Let's add more. Fame.
There we
The
go.
titles he won. How many Mr. Olympias have you got? Their businesses. How sexy is your partner? How good looking is your partner? Or how many partners do you have? Or
Too
had?
many.
Are you happy? Are you content?
Are you
And
fulfilled?
fulfilled?
Yeah.
And
that's
like,
a big one.
what overall impact have you had in this world? Like positive, negative, like how do people see you? And so like, really, success can be a lot of things, and it depends on how do you feel about it. And so I might say one person's more successful than someone else, but somebody might say the opposite. And so
I feel like
let's hear the
it's
analysis.
quite subjective, I reckon.
Very
I'm
subjective.
going to start it off and just say that, look, we all love Zyzz. We all really, really do. We are connected here because of Zyzz. I am only here because Zyzz has brought me here by the grace of God through, obviously, Greg discovering his channels, and that's made me more connected to Greg's own content, you know what I mean? Alex himself didn't know who I was until he found out the backstory. So I understand, guys, like I completely get it. But in my defense, I would also love to say that I've been raised the right way through a really strict family, through the Kurdish Russian upbringing. So in my family and just the way I was raised, I was never taught to be envious or jealous of anyone. I was always taught to just be the best version of myself, to focus on my life and to focus on my own achievements. So sometimes when I do read some of the comments of some of you guys like trying to put me down and bash me and compare like myself with my sibling, you know, it can be a little bit disheartening, but at times I always remember that I'm happy, man. I'm really happy with my life. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy with my businesses that I've launched. I'm financially free from the matrix. I don't thank the Lord Jesus Christ, Mary, Joseph, and Allah. I don't have to work a 9 to 5. And coming from that history, you guys know how tough it is to...
It's hard.
Once you escape it, you never want to go back, guys. So, am I happy? Yeah, I'm actually extremely happy. Am I successful? I would like to think so. I'm a multiple business owner. I'm a WBFF pro, and I've just won my title. I'm about to go for my world title in August. I planned on being the best in the world, and I know I can do it. I told you guys I'd become a pro. I did that. I think I'll become a world champion. I will do that. So, do I think I'm more successful than Zyzz? I do. Quite frankly, I do. Not everyone's going to have that opinion, and I respect that. But we all must also respect what Zyzz did for the fitness industry. But we also must not shy away from the fact that he made a lot of silly decisions, a lot of silly mistakes, and he was too young at the time to understand the true power and the true responsibility that he had as an influencer, as a role model. And I feel like if he was alive today, he would have wisened up and not made those silly decisions that led to his demise. And that's a God honest truth.
I feel like also social media was quite new back in the day, so nobody really knew what they were doing.
Yeah, so
You know?
in that sense, we have to cut him some slack because he was the forerunner of starting it all.
And so who do you think? What's your opinion? Like, do you agree with him? Do you do you disagree? Like, I just want let's hear it. What do you think?
Say how it is, bro.
Yeah, as I said, like success is super subjective. My definition.
What's
of
your
success,
definition of success?
You know, similar to yours, like running multiple businesses, competing. You know, really making a statement, influencing the world in a positive way.
Can you measure success based on
feel
just
like,
followers and fame?
No, you definitely can't.
Is that a true measure
No,
of success?
I don't think so. To some people, it might be.
I don't think it is.
You know, which
I would rather have a smaller niche group of people
100%.
that I impact their hearts and their
Yeah,
lives, and I
100%.
motivate them, than have a huge following. And this is no stab on anyone who has a huge cult-like following. But sometimes the meaning and the translation of what Zyzz tried to represent to the youth has been completely mixed up. You know, a lot of you guys are misguided and think that partying and hookup culture and taking drugs and going to festivals is fun and cool. I used to do it, and let me tell you,
it's definitely fun.
It's fun.
It might not be cool or healthy. I'm
it's
sure it's
probably not
fun.
healthy.
Let's be honest. We're not going to bullshit you. There's some fun involved in that.
Yeah,
There's a lot of fun. Half of my years were doing that, but
More fun than last time.
Is it respectable?
Is it successful, though?
Is it successful?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
And my answer for
But
success...
influence.
Happiness.
Was he the most influential?
Happiness. Was he truly happy?
No,
like,
dude.
seriously happy? Like, was he happier than last time?
No.
And if he wasn't, then he wasn't successful. Are you happy?
Dude, I've never been happier in my whole life.
Never been happier. And
You
so
guys
I'm
can
going
see
to have
from
to
the
agree
smile on
with
my
Jess,
face.
bro. I mean, I have to agree with this guy. Whether or not he was a multimillionaire or not, if he's happy and he's like, I'm loving life, and he's alive,
and healthy. That's what matters.
being alive is important about being successful. How successful can you be when you're not around? And so remember, your health is wealth. You have to be healthy. You have to be here on this earth. Do your cardio, eat healthy, and be a healthy person.
100%.
What do you think of that, Alex?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think success can be you know, it shouldn't be quantitative. Like, if you're making a positive influence in the world, you're making a positive influence in the world. Doesn't matter how much or how many people you're impacting. Even if you're impacting a small circle of people, you're still making a change. And I think that's what really matters at the end of the day.
I think so too. And also,
know?
I'd like to add to the fact that I understand that bodybuilding in the industry we're in, it's a very comparative sport. So
It is.
by natural inclination, people like to compare people. But I'm of the upbringing that, you know, it's in poor taste to be comparing siblings when, you know, we're both on the same journey doing the same thing.
I feel like at the end of the day, it should just be you versus you. As long as you're better than you were yesterday,
Yeah, and
that's
guys,
what really
I
matters.
want you guys to take this away from this video, because I want you guys to realize that you're never going to be anyone else other than yourself.
Yeah.
I can't be Greg. Greg can't be me. I can't be Alex. Alex can't be nobody. I can't be Jeff. Jeff couldn't be me.
Yeah.
Jeff couldn't be you. I couldn't be John. Az couldn't be me. I couldn't be Az.
I think way too many people get caught up in comparing themselves to
and
other
that's why they're
people.
never truly happy.
Exactly.
And they project that
And it gets worse
toxicity
as
on
social
others.
media continues to grow and
Yeah.
become popular, especially
And
with
dude,
the younger people.
let me tell you, I was caught in that trap when I was younger too, comparing myself with bigger, more shredded,
I'm
more
caught in that
popular
trap.
bodybuilders.
Speaking of bigger and more shredded, let's bring up the Liver King. It couldn't be a Coach Greg video without bringing up the Liver King.
Oh my god!
Who's more successful,
Gotta
the
love the
Liver
Liver
King,
King.
Zyzz, me, you?
That's a great question.
Who's more
I think-
successful? He has $100 million company.
Can I answer that question?
I want to hear it. Who's more
think-
successful?
I think in terms of influence and love, Zyzz. I think in terms of
I think so
financial.
too, yeah.
I think in terms of
100%.
because he touched people's hearts.
Yeah,
We can't take
the
that
Way
away.
story,
more than the
the
Liver King.
journey.
The Liver King, it
Yeah.
didn't touch nobody's hearts,
No.
but he persuaded and pushed people towards a healthier
But
lifestyle.
based on your definition of success, the business and the money,
That's true.
Well,
perhaps
if you-
the Liver King makes more than all of us. We don't know.
well, if you
So
put it
is he
like
more
that,
successful?
then we're bums and he's successful. Yeah.
But we have to, and I break it down to this. At the end of the day, remember what I said? Happiness. Is the Liver King happier than all of us or Zyzz, or is he miserable? And I mean, based on the apology he just had and,
I don't think he's
and
happy, man.
how he feels and how he has to force himself to train twice a day to feel normal,
I don't
he
think
doesn't
that's
look
healthy.
happy at all.
It's not only that, like he came out with the fact that, you know, he's so upset with the truth coming out that he wants to go cold turkey and not
Yeah,
even be on
that's
TRT.
true.
And I think that's a complete joke because you cannot.
I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
And I don't think he's going to. I'm calling it now, Liver King. I don't think you're going to be able to do it, bro. The best thing you can do is stay on the TRT and just keep it low and just keep yourself safe because you're going to have more of a crash trying to come off everything.
Yeah, the mental side
After
coming
spending
off will be
$12,000
terrible.
a month on
I'd love to hear, like, you
supplements.
as you're watching this, start commenting. I can't wait to read the comments. But like, what do you guys think? How important is what you've achieved in your money? For
And how-
example,
and how do
let's
you guys
bring up
measure
another
success?
another name we
Let's
all
go.
know, Chris Bumstead.
Successful.
He's
Daddy
excessively
C-Bum.
successful.
Yeah.
But is he more successful than Joe Rogan?
Oh, interesting
Like,
comparison.
how many titles has Joe Rogan won? Chris Bumstead's a 4-time Mr. Olympia champion. Is he more successful
think
than somebody
I
who
think,
makes more money?
I think Chris is more.
I
I don't
think
think it's about
success
money.
should really be defined on like the individual's goals.
Because
Like, if he's-
I see where you're getting at. If we look
You
at it
know?
from a financial point of view, then yeah.
But it's
Joe
like, what are
Rogan.
their goals?
But the question, like we said before, who would you rather be? In whose shoes would you rather be?
Yeah. Which life would you trade yours for?
Chris's.
Yeah, I would trade with Chris's. Yeah,
Because
for
the
sure.
idea of being a 4-time
Yeah.
Mr. Classic Physique Olympia
But
is
we would. But that might not
prestigious.
mean someone else.
And
That's
is
someone
Chris
else.
happy?
We don't. I don't know.
Is he happy with 4 titles? Or does he need 5? And if he gets 5, does he need to have more than 8? And who's the more successful? Phil Heath? Jay Cutler?
Does the titles make
Ronnie Coleman?
Do the titles determine the success?
But then at the same time,
Exactly.
Or is it
Chris Bumstead is super
Look at Jay
influential.
Cutler. He won 4 Olympias,
Yeah.
but at the same time, he's one of the most successful people in his retirement in the bodybuilding realm because
And so-
he's managed to come into retirement and do it correctly and become a businessman. So
That's true.
is Jay more successful than Ronnie, even though he won less titles?
Yeah, that's it, and that's exactly it. And I think that the answer is it depends on that person. And do I feel more successful than Jay? Well, no, he won 4 titles, but Jay might think, well, I don't feel as successful as Ronnie because he won 8 titles, but I won 4, but I make more money, and so I'm more successful. We don't really know that. It's up to that person.
I think it just depends on what their goals are. Honestly, like success is so subjective. You can't define someone else's success.
It's hard to say as well. And I also feel like on the come up, if you're obviously like up and rising, like, you know, like Az was, or any kind of legend that's on the come up, like I'm just going to throw some names: Kurt Cobain, Tupac, Biggie. All these guys died in the prime of their life. Would they have achieved that legendary status if they didn't die?
Very interesting.
We don't know.
Very interesting.
Would they have become martyrs if they didn't die? We would have seen more faults in them. We would have seen mistakes like everyone else.